Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Atolagbe and today I have a very special guest with me. Her name is
Grace Mary Osamajay.
Okay, so welcome Grace. So in 2017, Grace started a fashion brand called Boriah Clothiers. Boriah Clothiers is a moderate women's wear fashion brand that caters to women who are on a journey. What stands out to me about Grace and the Boriah brand is the level of attention to detail and the quality that they put into the pieces and also the business at large. And I'm not the only one who thinks like this, because people all over Instagram and even on the Etsy shop all give amazing reviews all the time. So today Grace and I will be talking about how she's achieving this goal of building an impactful brand in Lagos, Nigeria. Alright, Grace is also a YouTuber, so when you're done with this video, we're going to need you guys to go over to our channel. So check out our channel, watch our videos, engage with them, subscribe to our channel. She makes content around a wide range of interesting topics. Definitely go over there. I'm going to have a link in the description box. Without further ado, let's get started. So, hi girl.
Hello.
So what inspired you to start your fashion business?
Boriah was birthed out of the struggle, the Nigerian struggle.
Yeah.
So you typically take your clothes to the tailor,
Yeah.
and then you either get a question of what I ordered versus what I got, or you get full on disappointment. You get there, that's when they're bringing out the fabric from under the table where they have hidden it. So that's basically what made me explore fashion. It was first a hobby because then I used to work at a university back in Benin City as a lecturer, and at work people will be like, oh, this is really nice, oh, who did this for you, who made that for you?
Wow.
And then most of the time I designed the styles myself and gave like the sketch to the tailors to make, and then sometimes they'll get it, other times, which is most of the case, they won't get it right, and then of course I'll be mad. But when I wear it, people will be like, oh, this is really nice, and then I'm like, okay, I can hook you up. And then I started it as a business on the side, so I was making small money on the side, taking people's fabric, taking it to the tailor, and then giving them like nice styles with it, and then bringing it back to them. So, and I got like massive reviews, and then over the years I realized, okay, this is what I wanted to do fully. So I resigned my 9 to 5, moved all the way to Lagos.
Wow, such audacity.
Yeah, moved. Of course, my parents were like, okay, I kind of support you, but I wish you were not doing this. But they go over it
with time. Yeah. So when you decided to start properly, right? Did you go to fashion school? Did you do an internship, or how did you learn what you needed to know about starting?
So I did a mix of all of them. So when I moved to Lagos, I wasn't just coming to Lagos to come and chill with the big boys. So I came to Lagos with a plan, and one of the plan was to go to fashion school. I looked for the fashion school, and I found one. I'm not going to advertise it for anybody, so I'm not going to call their name. So I went to this fashion school, and I got I did like a program. It was a 6-month program.
Okay.
Thorough program, and I got an international diploma. You see, so your girl here is certified.
Wait, you went to fashion school in Lagos and got an international diploma?
Yeah, from Italy.
And you don't want to say the name?
It's called IMB, Instituto di Bodamogo. That's the name of it. So they have like an affiliation with another person in Nigeria. So basically the same name, the same curriculum and everything. You get their certificate. Wow. So I did the 6-month program. I got the certificate. But of course, after the 6-month program, I wasn't so sure, or I wasn't so confident in my ability. So I decided to do an apprenticeship for another 3 months. But this time, I did it in Benin.
Wow.
Yeah, so I went back to Benin. I didn't pack my load this time. I just went visiting for 3 months because I had my tailor that used to sew my clothes. He's really good. Okay. So I decided that maybe in terms of tailoring, could be a good fit for me. I didn't know any other place in Lagos, and then in terms of cost, at that point I was thinking, okay,
Lagos is expensive.
Lagos is expensive. Transportation, I have to feed myself. At that point, I didn't have any source of income, so I'm like, okay, I'll stay with my sister. My food is sorted, my accommodation is sorted. All I need to do is figure out how to get from point A to point B. So I did that for 3 months, and I'll give you extra gist. I like gist. So when I was there doing my apprenticeship, there's this lady I used to work with, and then she came in to pick her clothes, and she saw me there, and she was really concerned, like, are you sure? Like, all is well? Like, no, it was actually my decision. But I appreciate her consent because it was very genuine. So she said, okay, if this is what you want to do, why not? But so sometimes I just think about that scenario and I just laugh and I'm like, yeah, I know I'm a go-getter, so that's why I decided, okay, to do fashion. And in my head I'm like, okay, done that, I checked that out. So I did the apprenticeship and then did the fashion school as well. And then after that, I then started, of course, people were like, okay, take this, do this one, do this one. Of course, I started with myself as an experiment and then show off what I wore, what I could do, and then I got a lot of orders, or not a lot of orders.
So at what point did you move back to Lagos?
Oh, so after the 3 months, I packed my load and moved back. But then, so it was just a lot of move here and there. But at that point, luckily enough, another of my sister had moved to Lagos, so I had free accommodation. Again. So yeah, because it's crazy living in Lagos. Initially, I'd rented my place and my apartment, so I spent most of my savings on my school fees because my school fees ran into millions of naira. So yeah, in short, I found the receipt recently and I'm like, Grace, you paid this much, you should charge more.
But did you know that you were going to spend that much on your education for fashion design before you left your job? So I'm this kind of person, I like planning. When I decide I want to do something, I will do it. However, I'm not one to just get up and go. So I planned, I looked for the school, I knew the amount I was going to pay. And initially, of course, I feel like there was a bit of trickery in it because you pay and then tell you can't get a certificate if you do not pay a certain amount for the certificate. So I planned with the initial amount without the certification cost. So when I now got to Lagos, I realized I had to pay for the certificate. In my head, I probably want to do something else with the certificate, so that's why I paid. But what you get in terms of training is the same thing with or without the certificate. So yeah. So in general, like, how would you say that you raised all the money that you used? Because I think that's so important.
For me, when I told my parents I was going to resign from where I was working, they were like, okay, it's your decision, but know that we're not going to fund this dream, right? So you have to do your stuff.
Wait, how is that? Sorry to interrupt you, but how is that like? I mean, of course, most Nigerian parents would not support that. How was it like for you? Were you understanding of their position, or were you resentful? Like, you guys should do better.
Personally, in my house, they raised us to be really independent, really, really independent. So before I even resigned, I knew that I was the one that was going to be footing my bills. So I already had that at the back of my mind. So I was saving for years, literally. I was saving for years. So yeah, I had that at the back of my mind. So I was like, okay, I'm resigning. This is just for your information, not really that I was going to get the tick of approval or anything. Yeah. So yeah, and then I saved my money, and the truth is, the money wasn't enough. Yeah, the money wasn't enough, but in short, God, in His gracious mercy, sent helpers my way. So we had on some days, there was someone I told, okay, I want to do this. He's like, okay, send me your account details. Wow. And then he sent me 150k. That's years back.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, he sent me 150k. So I added that to my money. And then people like friends of mine, they just like, okay, Grace, take this, take that. And it was really touching. And then my younger sister as well. One of those random days when I was really broke, I spent all my money on purchasing fabric for my projects and all. Yeah. And then she's just like, okay, I sent you some money. Oh, so touching. Eventually, my mom helped me with some of the money for my accommodation here in Lagos. Yeah. So I would say that they didn't support at all, but just that they're like, you're on your own, so that they are sure that I have that part sorted.
So now we've ticked off the skills, we've ticked off the money. So how many people in terms of staff did you start with?
Starting off, I was the alpha and omega of my business. Wow. So I was literally doing everything. I was a customer service person. I was the person sourcing the fabric. I was the person going to the market. I was a salesperson. I was the tailor. I was the social media strategist. I was everything. And I think that's how most small businesses start, right? Yeah. You have to do everything. And then I think it's a good thing because when you do everything, then you learn. And then when someone comes, you can instruct them the way you want it. Or they can't tell you, I can't do this because of this. But you say, oh, I've done this before. So you can do it this way or that way. So I think that really helped me. It served as a good foundation for me, really.
So you started with a lot of technical knowledge, right? But what would you say is the important skill to have if I want to launch my own fashion brand now? Do I need to know how to sew, how to make?
I feel like you can answer that question, but I would talk about myself, right? So what I think, I don't believe that everybody needs to know how to sew to start a fashion business. Yeah. So in fashion,
does it help? Do you think it helps?
Oh, definitely. Every skill counts. Let's just say it that way. Every skill counts, because as a small business owner, the goal is to maximize your profits and reduce your expenses, right? So if you're not employing someone to do something else that you can do, then you're saving money and you're making profit. So every skill counts. However, it's also important to know your strengths and your weaknesses. So in business, you have the technical part of it, which in this case, fashion, would be the sewing, the design, and then you also have the marketing part of it. So if you're a great marketer, you can as well do a fashion business if you can get or source the technical skills, right? But if you can't sew and you can't sell your products, then you're in a bad place. I think that was what happened to me initially. In short, I'm great at what I do, as she already mentioned.
Yeah.
However, I had issues selling because I'm an introvert. You will not know because I'm talking right now, right? But I am highly introverted. I like my space. In short, I'm much more better now. But before then, I would just make a product, and then I wasn't putting it out online. I wasn't telling people what I do. And then, of course, I was hungry because they were not nobody was patronizing me. And out of hunger and desperation, I said, Grace, this introvertedness no will work. So I had to put myself out there. I had to do more marketing. And over time,
how did you do that?
I actually have like a full video on that on my channel. If you want, you can go there and watch it. But I'll just talk a bit about that. So basically, part of things I was doing, I got this free tip from fulfils. I think he's a business strategist and marketing expert. He said, if you want people to buy your product, then tell them what you do. So yes, people around you, they realize that you're a fashion designer, but then top of mind is important. Will they give their fabric to someone else and say, I forgot that you haven't a tailor, so I should have given you, or a fashion designer as we like to call it, right? I should have given you. So I kept on saying it. So on my social media, I was posting what I had done, of course, to give me credibility. Yeah. And also, I was also telling my friends, if you have anybody, or you know anybody that would like to sew, please refer them to me. And then, of course, from time to time, I was literally calling them to say, do not patronize me like I was harassing them. Yes, call it what you want to call it, but I literally harassed them. And then, of course, my family members were my major supporters. They were the ones patronizing me and telling people about me. And then their friends became my customers and the friends of their friends, you know, how that goes. In short, you can hire someone to market for you. But sometimes it's always better to market yourself because you know your product in and out, right?
Yeah, and you understand the passion
and then there's some questions people ask you
behind it.
There's also that story why you started your business. I feel like people can relate to our stories better than they can even relate to our products. I'll tell you this. So Paystack, their bomber jackets were created by us at Boriah. Yeah, so we got this contract, but then we didn't know anybody at Paystack.
Okay, so how did they find you?
My sister sent me a link to apply for something they had put out there. So you see, social media very important.
Yeah.
And then I went there. Of course, we had good pictures of what we do, and then we had good feedback, and then we had, of course, we crafted the story behind the bomber jacket and submitted that application, and then we were selected. Wow. And then when we were that was for a different thing entirely, right? Yeah. So when we were selected at that time, their platform didn't have the option to have variants in terms of, because us, we have our bomber jackets are different African prints and in limited quantity, so they didn't have the option to have variants. So they said, do you know what, we'll come to you at a later time, we're working on this. So they gave me a free video. So I have this really nice video that was created by the Paystack team, and so that was like the compensation. And then when they eventually created the variant, they were like, okay, we'd like to put you on our storefront. Would you like to join this collaboration? I'm like, why not? So I did that because they had seen the quality of the jacket. Yeah. So sales is important. Putting yourself out there is important. But then the quality of your product will speak for itself eventually. Mm-hmm. So you don't want to do your marketing and sell your product. And then eventually when people get it and they're like, oh, this is rubbish, right?
Yeah. So how do you find staff to hire? Do you go on LinkedIn to search for them? Is there an agency or something? I think tailors are the most important because I can tell how you would hire, for instance, now a digital marketer or something. But when it comes to your tailors, how do you find them?
So we are a small business, so we focus on one of the most important things, aside finding the person that is the right fit for our business, is finding them at the right price. Because in terms of cost, we don't have a large budget for human resource, right? So whether you are a customer care person or you're the person that sews, what is important to me first is the fact that you have a mentality that can fit right with Boriah, because we have a company culture. As in, it baffles me how much we've grown in terms of my staff, and now they'll be the one telling me, oh no, we don't do it this way, this is the Boriah way. So we look out for people like that. However, finding them can be difficult. So for me, initially I talked to random agents, because I got agent numbers from people, and then in short, it was a nightmare. And we're religious in Nigeria or in Africa.
Yeah,
it's God.
God did it.
It's God. It's God. I swear, it's God. Because I walked down the street, there was a lady I used to buy food from. I realized that she used to sew, but when I looked at what she was sewing, it wasn't really right. Like, it wasn't Boriah standard. So we employed her as a cleaner, and then over time, she used to help out in the shop, do this, do that, and then she grew to the level that we felt like, okay, we could employ her as a tailor or as a joiner, because we use patterns to cut. So, and over time, she has grown to actually be the key tailor right now in our business.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's improved greatly. So you can see the trajectory like that.
So you basically promote people and go from to
if you're good enough, then you can go. Then we get interns that help out in the office.
Yeah,
they help with purchasing. They help with
how about youth corpers?
Oh, actually, I've gotten a youth corper before. I've gotten a youth corper. So, but she was a fashion designer, and then she wanted to work in a fashion establishment as well for her youth corps. Okay. And then we got her. She was customer service person, but then she was also learning patterns. So.
Is there a legal aspect to all of this? Yeah. Have you ever been in any legal?
So I think the major part in terms of legality would be government money. Government likes their money. Yeah, VAT, right? We actually have someone who manages our books for the major part in terms of overall balancing, and then telling us what we need to remit in terms of yearly tax.
So like a bookkeeper.
No, he's not a book. More like an auditor.
Okay.
More like an auditor.
In-house, or you outsource to this person?
Outsource. So yearly, he does the overall books, but then I do the day-to-day balancing of the books. He provides the template for me to use.
Wow. How did you learn to do the books?
I had to learn it. Like, it's something that whether you like it or not, you want to know how much you're making. You want to know how much you're spending on different aspects of your business, so that you know how to optimize the business. So I had to learn. In short, I registered for a lot of courses. I asked friends. My sister helped me to explain some things to me. And then I got the auditor. So he did a bit of education, and then now provided me with a template to use. Because, for example, in the first year of my business, most of the money that were paid to me went from payment from the customer to expenses, and it was documented. However, my auditor felt like, okay, it should go through the bank. So from the second year, any money that comes to us would go through the bank, and then we expend it in an expense account.
Okay, so how do you fulfill internationally?
I even have this video on my channel. You can watch that.
Okay,
that tells you
so
about
we're going to link it up so that you can check it out.
However, I'll just give like a really brief summary of what I do. So I used to use DHL, and then I found out that there was another provider that I could still ship with DHL but at a cheaper price. So they're called Africa. And Africa, their rate is slightly cheaper. So in short, at the time I found them, they had 0.5 kg, which DHL did not have. So if you're shipping like a really small item, you have paid like 6K to have it delivered, compared to like 15,000, 12,000 I was paying on DHL. So yeah, that's what I do.
Wow.
Go watch my video.
Okay. I saw this Joy of Christmas project on your Instagram. Can you talk about that?
You did your research, right? Okay, so when I started the business, part of what I wanted to do was not just to be the typical tailor or fashion designer.
Okay.
So beyond just creating nice clothes that fit people and boost their confidence, we also wanted to create a culture, so which I talked about. We have like a good company culture. You can ask our staff. In addition to that, we also wanted to give back. So part of our initiative, Giving Back, is to employ youth who are ready to work or who are ready to work, and then train them for free. It's about the joy of Christmas. It's basically a Boriah initiative to give back to our community. At Boriah, one of our tenets is people. So we're centered on giving value to our customers, giving value to our staff, and giving value to our community.
Wow.
So the Joy of Christmas initiative started, I think, 3 years back. We realized that we had like a lot of cutout fabric, scrap fabric that we were using for our production. Rather than throwing it away, why not save the environment and give these things to people? So we made over 100 pieces of clothes for children from that. So we started in July and we did that through to December, and then we went to an orphanage to give them the clothes. And also we also reached out to our customers, right? And then they sent us money and we got extra stuff to take along. And then we also did it this year. We missed last year, but we did it this year as well. This year, instead of going to an orphanage, there's this community in Anthony where we have our shop, and we went there and we gave this more than 100 actually this year, and we gave out the clothes to them. They were really happy. Unfortunately, it didn't go around, but we wish we can do more. Hopefully in the coming years, maybe we can do more.
Okay, so what would you say are the highest points of this journey for you?
I don't know. I have different peaks, you know? So I'll just say a couple of them. So the first one is when I was starting, like really early on, even before I'd gotten staff, there was this lady. She just bought like 2 Ghana rolls of clothes and said I was going to be the one making them. And then she was willing to pay the price I was quoting for her. I'm like, wow. And then that gave me joy because every other person was like, you're too pricey, you're too expensive. And at that point, I was already getting frustrated. But that gave me validation that, okay, you are good enough. You know what you're doing. You're on the right path. So I'll say that one. That one was good. And the next one after that would probably be when we launched our ready-to-wear brand.
Okay.
And then that was in 2018. We started in 2018, around July. We launched the ready-to-wear brand, and then people showed up for us, and I'm like, oh, wow. And then we had like in terms of reception, it was slow initially, but then after that it picked up, and the balance between our ready-to-wear order and our bespoke order kind of leveled out. So yeah, the last one, I would say the Paystack order. I talked about Paystack.
Yeah, that's really
like the collaboration with Paystack. It's big. How many people can say they've collaborated with Paystack? So yeah,
2020.
So in 2020, we had our best year selling internationally. So and then with little effort, I should say that.
What do you think triggered that?
The lockdown.
I mean, for a year. But then you would think that a year in which people were not going out, so that means that they probably were not. I know that I was not buying clothes in 2020, so why were people buying?
The truth is, it wasn't clothes alone. So the major product we sold in that year was face masks and head wraps.
Oh, wow.
Face masks and head wraps. So low effort, high reward.
Wow.
Because then it was standardized. You're making the same thing. You're producing it quickly. You're cutting the fabric and you're making Ankara head wrap. And you're buying it at a good price. And then the exchange rate between Nigeria and international, and you know, that kind of worked out in our favor. Oh, and also, I'll say another win, going back to the previous question. Or the same question actually. Was that sales was triggered by a feature on Fast Company. Fast Company. So Fast Company is an international company that they have like an online presence, like a great online presence. So someone texted me on WhatsApp and said, hi, I saw your
Instagram.
I saw the feature on Fast Company. I'm like, what's Fast Company? And then she sent me the link. I'm like, wow, okay.
Oh, so Fast Company did not even tell you that they were featuring you.
So because it was like a post about how people are making something that is a compulsory piece of like the face mask more fashionable. So whatever, but make it fashion. Like we have to wear the face mask, but make it fashion. So 2 African creators were featured, and I guess they just went to Instagram, grabbed the picture that they saw, and they put it. So there was a link there to Instagram. So I guess they got our Instagram, our WhatsApp number from our Instagram link. So, and then like, of course, I'm like, oh, really? And I'm okay. And then I felt it wasn't a big deal. Then someone else texted me again. I'm like, okay, let's capitalize on this. And then we did that, and that helped out because even before our stuff was ready, because we sent it to someone to sell in the US, it was already sold out like a week when it landed
within a
US.
week.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Also, lastly, how should people reach out to you to order Boriah?
Okay, so you can go to our Instagram, boriah.rtw. You can just send us a message.
Okay, it's going to be on the screen.
Yeah.
So how would you advise someone who wants to start a fashion brand or fashion business like you have?
I would say that you should first watch my video, What I Wish I Knew, before starting a fashion business or a business in Nigeria.
Okay.
Watch that. That would serve as a foundation of things you can do differently from what I did, right?
Yours, yeah.
Or how I did mine, right? But then overall, I would say consistency pays. So keep at it and just keep getting better at what you're doing. That's basically what I would say, because if I start to talk, doing a business in Nigeria is challenging, so that we know. But
honestly, existing is challenging.
And also, it's gonna be tough. You're gonna have days when people will tell you that you're not meant to be doing this business, but just keep at it. You'll get better, and then find the right people. Finding the right people, very key, and then have a support system. When I was still starting off, my sister used to come and do pattern. By force, I taught her how to do pattern. Sometimes, she used to do so. Sometimes, in terms of, I would say, best this, add team allowance on this. At some point, she was my model. Now she's now my makeup artist, and then we didn't pay her well before, but now we're trying to pay her better because she deserves it. So yeah, find people that you should literally find your support system. Ask for help. If you don't ask for help, nobody will know you need help, right? Yeah. So a friend of mine, I'm just like, see, I need to do this. How can you help me? And then he helped me create like a structure, like an SOP for my business for free. He literally was coming from the island every other day, and then he'll come, we'll discuss about the structure, and then he'll document the processes, and then we have a document for that just because of him. So ask for help. People are willing to help you if you ask for help.
Wow. So ask for help. So I hope you guys have learned something today. I know that I have learned a lot of things I did not know before. So thank you, Grace, for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Also, I'm going to have Grace's YouTube and Instagram links in the description box so that you check out the YouTube for Grace's personal content, and then Instagram for Boriah to order her pieces. They have a very famous bomber jacket.
If you are not subscribed to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and don't forget to turn on your notification bell.
Alright guys, thank you for watching today. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.